Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that wherever and whenever and whoever you happen to be, that you're able to be your genuine true self, and that you are being authentic in every moment, because being authentic is a way of respecting yourself. Now, there's kind of a two-pronged, idea or devil's pitchfork. I don't know. There's two things that happen when you are your genuine self. Maybe technically three things happen. When you become your true authentic self and you're trying to attract your vibe tribe, as they say, which is a very awkward phrase coming out of my mouth for some reason. But I like to say soul family, if you're trying to attract your people, basically your soul tribe or your soul family, you have to vibrate at a level that is authentically you. And you have to love and embrace your truths, admit them to yourself, and just live the life that you truly are. Now, yesterday I mentioned that when we are encountering people that are completely asleep, if we were honest 100% with them, we would sound like complete lunatics. What have you been up to lately? Oh, I've been trying to raise my vibration because I want to ascend. And I'm grateful because I'm getting all these light codes and downloads, and my DNA has been activated. I mean, you say something like that to the average sleeping person, you're going to sound like you're off your damn meds, okay? I mean, it's like, not only are you black sheep of the family because you understand and know a whole lot more about the universe than the sleeping sheeple that might be around you. But now you're just damn kook. You're kooky. Like, you're strange and weird. Like, it's very strange. It's odd. You become kind of like a crazy person, So how do you do it? You navigate it. But I don't think we should water ourselves down anymore. Like, instead of saying I'm receiving the downloads and the upgrades and the light codes and I'm speaking light language and I'm, meditating, and then you water that down to I've been meditating, and then you talk to your grandma and you're like, I've been praying, I've been spending my time thinking about God a lot. Instead of like, I've been channeling to hundreds of people every night, with my, it's like you kind of tend to water it down, so you don't sound like a complete lunatic. But I feel like it's time just to be yourself, be authentic, be genuine. If you feel like someone's going to threaten your life or something because they don't agree with your, stuff, just, ignore them, cut them out of your life. I don't care if they're related to you or not. You deserve to be surrounded by your people, and you deserve to have everything in your life that you want. But some things happen. Okay, the first thing that happens when you're authentic and genuine, and you come into your own personal power this way, by the way, when you are, told your whole life that, you're not going to amount to anything, and so you go and you work in a grocery store or an office or whatever the hell you're doing, and it has nothing to do with your talent, and you want to be a concert pianist, and that if you practice and you're really, really good, you could get into Juilliard and you could play, in concert halls all over the world. You could be the next Elton John or whatever. I don't know. Is there any other one? Liberace, whatever. But, you can, and you have that in you, but then people beat you down and you're not authentic to yourself, and you just stay working in a grocery store until you get carpal tunnel. And then you finally decide to play piano, but now it's too late unless you have surgery. Maybe you have kids by now, and now there it goes, right? I mean, I think as long as you live, you still have time to fulfill your dreams. But I think you need to be authentic and genuine and true to yourself right now, to who you are, what your life purpose is, what your mission is. And if you are strange and weird and metaphysical and oh so cosmic like I am, I mean, if you're listening to me, chances are you're either doing it for entertainment, or you're new to this stuff, or you're just like me and you're like, you'd rather sit in your room by yourself talking to your ghost friends and your fairies, and trying to extract the messages from Atlantis that were left in the crystals you own. Looking into the clouds to get the messages from God up in the sky. Like God gives us messages all the time. And when you want real company, you open your window and you feed the pigeons outside your window. You go down the street and you buy dog food for the stray dogs. I mean, it's the kind of stuff I do, like I don't live an ordinary life, but I would never want to. I could not fit in at all with the ordinary people because they were ordinarily asleep. And every now and again, I meet someone who's like slightly spiritual, like a little bit, teeny tiny bit woken up. And they would say something and I would say, well, you're like about 80% right. There's also this one little thing that you didn't know about that I just read, and I've always been a teacher my whole life. So I'll, open fat mouth, insert tiny foot. Which is something I got from Hunter S. Thompson's Spirit earlier tonight, because we sat here for an hour and had a conversation before I started the show. And I love him. He's become a really good friend of mine in the past few years. He started showing up. One day I just came across one of his books. I'm like, why didn't I ever read any of these books? So now I've read like about 3 or 4 of them. And he started visiting me. And we became like really good friends, which is weird because he's a ghost. So yeah, I have a weird life. Really weird life. But so the first thing that happens when you are your genuine and true and authentic self, Mom, Dad, I don't want to follow organized religion anymore. I do believe in tattoos. I do believe in dancing. I do believe that I'm a spark of the divine creator. So therefore, I am God to the best of my ability. I will always strive to be more and more godlike as I progress on my spiritual path. I believe that I can ascend like Jesus did, and many, many ascended masters did throughout the world in many different cultures. And I don't believe I need to go to church, right? You sit them down and you come out of the spiritual closet, or if you're a witch, the broom closet. If one of 2 things are going to happen. They're going to rant and rave and have a problem with it and then eventually accept you. Or they're going to rant and rave and have a problem with it and completely cut you off. You're out of the will, you're out of the family, and they're going to be cutting you out of the family pictures, and they're going to insert their new cat. Or the family parrot or whatever, it's like there's going to be a pet there, not you anymore. Okay, maybe it won't be that bad. But that's the first thing. The second thing is when you light up your light, your inner light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Speaking of religion. Well, I always loved that song because I always felt like there's some kind of kernel of truth to it that's, you have to let your light shine. But y'all know, you've all seen the night sky. You've all had a porch light or a flashlight when you're camping. And you've all seen all the bugs you attract. Oh my God. The brighter the light, the more moths you're going to attract. The more bugs are going to fly towards your light and bug you. That's the second thing. When you become your true, authentic self and you start to shine, shine, shine so bright, you're going to get the people trying to bug you. And they don't know it, but they're just a part of the grand scheme of things, and they're going to try to throw you off your game. Happened to me a couple times today, like 3 different times. And I realized I kind of brought it on myself in a way. I was very gentle. I thought I was gentle and sweet and non-judgmental in the way that I approached things that I saw were... I just felt like I needed to mention something because I was true and authentic to myself when I was saying these things. I ended up unfollowing 3 people on Instagram today. One of them was kind of mild, but it bothered me enough to unfollow. One of them was mild, but what was the other one? Now I can't remember. There's 2 of them that were kind of... Look, there's a sickness in our society, and I'm going to go off the beaten path for a minute and explain myself. Not that I have to, but there's this weird thing, and I've kind of touched on this before a few different times. If you're new to the show, this might shock you, but there's like a pedophilia thing that goes on that's wrapped up into sexism and a little bit into misogyny and absolute disrespect towards women. And even though it's not officially pedophilia, it's pointing to that. And it's and women make this mistake all the time, and it drives me crazy. And I wasn't such a stickler for this stuff before. I'm not like some, hardcore man-hating feminist bitch type of person that is another stupid stereotype, because I feel like when we are defending ourselves, or not even defending ourselves, just to point out this is wrong, please don't say this word, it's offensive. I don't feel safe, or I don't think that it's respectful to women, and I'm going to unfollow you. And other people are going to unfollow you too because of what you said. But this person said that a girl hates it when her guy flirts with others. Something like that. I can't remember the direct quote. But I just remember there was girl and guy. Who's a girl? Well, by definition, a girl is somebody who's under the age of 18. Who's a guy? By definition, someone who's over the age of 18. You guys see the pedophilia? That's literally what that is. If you're a 17-year-old woman and you're dating a 19-year-old guy, I know there's only 2 years between you, but that's statutory rape. That is a legal definition of rape. Right? And it's because it's pedophilia. It's not, maybe physical, like violent rape didn't take place, but that is the legal definition. I know because when I was in junior high, my girlfriend had a boyfriend who was 19, and we were all like, he's too old for you. You need to stop. This isn't right. And her mom called the authorities and had him arrested for statutory rape. Oh, well, now you're a rapist. It's like you shouldn't have been dating a 14-year-old girl. Sorry. That's wrong. Don't do that. I don't know, guys. It's Jerry Lee Lewis just popped into my head. He had a 14-year-old bride. Child brides, it's freaking wrong. It's this massively wrong thing going on in this world. And anyway, so I just pointed out very gently. I'm like, or, woman doesn't like when a guy I mean, the whole thing was flawed, but I don't want to point out all the flaws because I've become my true, genuine, authentic self. And for the most part, I'm happy. I love everybody. I try to see everybody's point of view. I don't purposely argue with people like I have in the past just because I was bored or whatever, 20 years ago or whatever. But it bothers me because once it's pointed out to you, you can't really let it go anymore. You can't really. So I just point out gently, girl, or woman, you mean, because women are over the age of 18. Lady, gentleman, they're all over the age of 18. Man, woman, lady, gentleman. These are the words. Guy and gal, if you want. But not girl and boy. A boy doesn't date a woman. A girl does not date a man unless it's statutory rape. The pedophilia. It's like pointing to that. And just like putting it with a pretty little pink background and calling yourself a phrase that sounds spiritual does not make you enlightened. And part of enlightenment is not only being true and genuine and authentic to who you are, but lifting your consciousness levels so that you no longer carry that energy of misogyny, hatred towards women, that you don't carry the disrespectful energy towards women and girls, female species, or the female of our species, sorry. It's really, there's such a massive problem with this. Go watch Mad Men. You're going to see what I mean, ladies. If you see this, you're going to be like, oh yeah, right. All the blue jokes the men would tell in front of the ladies and to make them feel uncomfortable. And that was a form of violence, even though, I'm not some hardcore, I'm a card-carrying witch, but I'm not a card-carrying feminist. I'm not. But I'm a feminist in the way that I believe that we need to love ourselves, treat ourselves with respect, treat other women with respect, treat all women with respect, regardless of anything else. The very damn basis, the baseline, we should treat everyone with respect, men and women. Right? So I just pointed this out, and this person started arguing with me, and I'm just like, look, this is like, and when you say, look, this is pedophilia, I want to point this out to you. When you say a man is dating a girl, think about it. What's the legal definition of a man over the age of 18? What's the legal definition of a girl under the age of 18? What is the legal definition of statutory rape? I'm not making this shit up. It's easy enough to go look it up and figure it out and think about it for 2 seconds and go, holy crap. Because look at all the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, the Jeffrey Epsteins of this world. How were they able to get away with this crap for so long? Because everyone accepted that it's okay to call women girls. And it isn't that much of a leap to say, sure, she's 18, she's a woman. Oh, she's 17, she's almost a woman. You don't even say, they don't even say that. They call women girls. If you're 30, you're a girl. No, you're not. So anyway, this is something that needs to be fixed. And because I am a true to myself person, and I'm authentic and I'm genuine, and I'm becoming more and more respectful with every passing day that I become more enlightened socially, politically, spiritually, mentally, in every possible way. And it's so subtle, this subtle violence. But when you accept one little tiny slip, then you accept another, then another. First someone calls you a girl, then they call you a princess. Oh, princess. You're my princess. No, I'm not your fucking princess. I am a damn queen. I own my own my own queendom, okay? And if you don't want to be in my world, that's cool, but I'm not your damn princess, because that's what you call a 4-year-old at a birthday party in a little pink dress and a little party hat and balloons. You know, clown making balloon animals or whatever. Like, that's not a word that is... It doesn't resonate with me in a way that I go, oh yeah, I'm your little princess, I'm going to talk like baby talk. No. You know, that's BS. It's time to grow up and accept if you're a woman, accept your womanhood, you know, and accept it in a way that it is unacceptable for a man to call you a princess. Sorry, honey, if I'm going to be with you at all, I will be your queen. We will rule our empire together. Even if it's just our house and our white picket fence and our 2.5 kids and, you know, our dog and our cat and our Buick in the driveway or whatever the hell, you know. Like, it doesn't matter what your kingdom is. It might be an apartment in New York City. It doesn't matter, but I'm sorry, I'm a queen, you know. And if you're going to treat me like I'm a little girl and you're going to give me, like, you know, things like ice cream, you know, coloring books and ice cream, you know, you don't treat me like a little kid and then act like you want to have sex with me. That's pedophilia. That's one of the biggest problems in our society, is that these weird little slips, this word here and that word there, and it all leads and points to that. And once I've seen this and I've seen the connections of it, it has been driving me crazy when people say these things. And then when you point out to them and then they continue to use those words, and it's just like, no, I can't handle that. Like, I'm going to point it out to you, and now I'm going to unfollow you on Insta or whatever, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I've been on Instagram only lately. So that was the first thing. The second thing was this woman who was doing, supposedly doing readings. I think she's just reading from her own subconscious desires and thrills or whatever. But she said she's going to do a spirit baby reading, which sounded super cute and innocent and sweet. And she had these really pretty cards, and they had babies on them, like cherub babies, like little angel babies. And saying things like, Mama, please tell Dada that I'm on my way. Which I thought was very infantile, even though it's from a baby. I was like, oh my God, right? And I'm like, did she make up these cards? Is this like a deck she created? Or what the hell is this spirit? What the hell is this? And so I was intrigued. Anyway, I want to read it, you know, added her. 10 minutes later, I read a post of this, right? So I'm like, this is weird. And I asked, so what do you mean by spirit baby? And she says, I've had plenty of posts and she just got really nasty with me. I've had plenty of posts. Why couldn't you have read them? I'm like, because I added you 10 minutes ago. I just found you. I just, you know, can you just please tell me what this means? I think I know what it means, but what is this exactly? And then as I'm going through her reading, then she had these really sexually graphic, hardcore, like almost like XXX descriptions of sex written in her handwriting on like notebook lined paper, and ripped, not even cut with the scissors, but like ripped, sitting next to these Mama and Dada on my way, blah, blah, blah. Next to these hardcore graphic handwritten notes in her post, which violates the community safety agreement with Instagram. And number one. And number two, it was like weird. And I'm like, this is another pedophilia thing, even though I'm not calling her a pedophile and I don't think she sees it. So I'm like, I'm going to point this shit out to her because, dude, you need to look at yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, yo. Come on, look. You know, because I'm a mom. I've had 2 kids. I couldn't watch anything with the remotest itty bitty bit of violence for the first 4 years after I gave birth to my first one. And I had my second one 2 years later. And I love my kids so much, and I just wanted them to be innocent and sweet and loving and pure. And I kind of became that way myself. And when you think about having a child, you feel so, it's about love and it's about joy and passion and of living, and you want to give them everything. And you fall in love with them, but it's the innocence, right? It's an innocent kind of love. And then to have it next to have that kind of an energy next to the energy of hardcore graphic effing, okay, like sex that didn't feel like love at all. It just felt like pornography. The way that she was describing things, like, I want to suck this and lick that and blah, blah, blah. And you can imagine. It was very, very intense. And I'm like, so what is a spirit baby again? Because if you did these things in front of an actual baby in the United States, this is considered a crime. It's child abuse. So I'm asking you, what's going on with this energy? Two completely different energies, like opposite energies in a way. And she just got really mad at me, obviously, and couldn't see it, didn't want to see it, was defensive. And, well, if you can't tell the difference between this and that and separate them out, I'm like, why can't you separate these energies out? I might go back tomorrow. When I get off my tablet right now and publish I might actually go and turn her in, because the sexual words and the language she was using was very shocking, especially for Instagram, right? So those are two things. It's like, and I'm not calling anyone a pedophile, because obviously they're not. Well, I don't know. Maybe they are. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But there's this subtlety, and it's kind of like there's this massive sex trafficking thing going on of children and women, and also girls that are, 16 and up. I consider them women, but, even though legally 18 and up, but there's this horrible thing going on in our world, and we have to do something if we have the ability. And the very tiniest thing that you can do about this is to point it out when you see it. Look, I know this isn't you, and you didn't mean it this way. Maybe you didn't even think about it, but I'm going to show you a different point of view, because this is a problem in our society. And how is the problem going to stop unless we notice all the subtleties that lead up to, all the other things? I mean, I'm not saying if you call yourself a girl, you're diminishing yourself and you're disrespecting yourself and you're disrespecting all the other women in the whole wide world by saying the word girl. Girls like it when men do this in bed. No, oh my God, that's pedophilia. Like, I've seen posts like this on Instagram. So I point out the error, and then I unfollow them. Bada boom, bada bing, I'm out, right? This woman, I'm going to have to turn her in, because the stuff is so graphically, violently, sexual, right next to mama, dada, la, la, la. It was all extremely immature and spiritually immature. It was crazy. She's still asleep, and I think she's operating from her subconscious mind and not really channeling. She says, this is a channel from your divine counterpart. No, it's not. He's not going to be talking about licking and sucking and whatever the hell. I mean, I know my divine counterpart. I'm telepathically communicating with him, and he's asking me about, can we read books together and be quiet together, and can we stay in and have evenings together where we hold hands and talk and eat popcorn and watch movies, or stuff like that. And he's also talking to me about, where in the world do I want to go? What do I want to do? What are my hopes and dreams? Those are the kinds of things my divine counterpart's talking to me about. He's not so basic that he wants to talk about the animal, sexual, raw, lustful, whatever. I don't have sex with people I'm in love with. I make love with them. Way different energy. But when you're true and you're authentic, the second thing that happens, the first thing that happens, what did I say it was? People will drop out of your life. They'll just stop being with you. Second thing that happens is you attract a lot of moths. When you light your light and it gets brighter and brighter, you're going to attract a lot of bugs that are going to bug you. So, and the third thing that happened on Instagram today was three things. And the third thing, basically, I'm not even going to go into the whole thing, but he told me to F off. And on his own account. So I turned him in too. And I mean, literally, I've had to report 3 people today. It's like, actually, the first person I didn't have to report. No, I actually did. Because someone started arguing with me about getting angry about saying the girl and the man thing. That's not pedophilia. Who said that? It's like the legal definition. Like, look into it. Be open-minded. Look into it so that you can correct the behavior in the future so that this doesn't happen again. Raising our consciousness in every possible way. So it's going to help us become more authentic and true to ourselves and more genuine and true to our people, all the people in the world. Because they all deserve that. Everyone deserves love and respect. And you can't respect people if you're using the wrong language, right? Especially when there's subtleties to it that are meant to undermine women and to undermine girls and to make it okay to sexualize people under the age of 18, and then all that crap leads to the sex trafficking. It's like so... I feel like I'm a one-woman army sometimes, I swear to God. I might have to do a post on Instagram about this, not about these people, but just in general. Some, quick consciousness raising update, because a lot of people just don't think about this stuff. It's very disturbing. But okay, so the first thing that happens is people will fall away from your life. Second thing that happens, some really wrong, people will start being attracted to you. Moths to a flame. And there's a couple things. They don't know that they're seeing your light on a spiritual level. So they're attracted to you, but they're not ready because they haven't raised themselves up enough. So one or two things are going to happen when they are attracted to you, these buggy people. They're going to either eventually see your point of view and accept it, or they're going to just absolutely continue to attack you. But that's from their end. And from your end, what happens is people are attacking you. They're like bugs, moths to a flame. When that happens, they are, when they're attacking you, one of two things happens. You're going to fight back and get nasty and get down in the mud with them. Or you're going to be like, no, I'm just trying to point out something that I saw. And I just wanted you to take a step back, look at this, and understand the error there. Or at least kind of see it from my angle so that you could see in the future if you want to continue this or not. You're going to continue that behavior. We're never going to conversate again. If you're going to see my point of view and tell me your point of view, and we could come to a mutual understanding and agreement of what would be okay, what wouldn't be violent towards women and girls, right? In your language or whatever the issue. It doesn't even have to be that issue. It could be anything. So, but when you can keep your calm and your cool and I'm totally fine. I'm not upset. I'm not insulted. I had 3 people tell me that I was upset and insulted and annoyed, and they were projecting all this energy on me that absolutely none of it was true. No, I'm sitting here calm and cool and collected. I'm just saying, I don't think this is right. And this is extremely disturbing in the one weird lady's case. This is extremely disturbing. It's creepy, it's disturbing, and it points to pedophilia, even though you might not be a pedophile. I'm sure you're not. I don't know. I don't know you. Maybe you are. Hell, I don't know. But This is like why there's pedophilia in the world. Like, when you keep putting opposing energies together in every possible way, we need to separate those energies. And then the lower basic energies we need to leave behind completely. No longer diminishing women into little tiny girls, like a 4-year-old at a birthday party type of girl. Like, why? I mean, if you're a man and you can have a strong woman at your side and you're a strong man and you guys are strong together and you are solid in yourself as a human being, you're genuine and true, authentic with yourself, and then together you add to each other's life, there's no higher purpose in a relationship format than that. If that's part of your path, that's the way it ought to be. You don't walk in like Prince Charming rescuing a girl, a princess, but you're going to be the king and now she's the princess still. Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me when it's a metaphor. I mean, there's really are princes that are married to women in the world or whatever. But I mean the metaphor of it, not the like actual royalty thing of it. But I know, so those things have been bothering me today. But it didn't bother me in a way that I was upset. Even when this guy told me to F off, I just told Instagram and they erased his comment and probably gave him a warning or something for being unsafe in the community. But I was just like, whatever. I think I've been, never heard those words before. I don't care. Whatever. I just didn't even answer him. I just turned him in. I'm just like, just delete this. It's offensive and violent, and screw that. But I don't know. But so you track the moths. So the third thing that happens is that you will grow so bright and so real and so true that more people will join you and you will make more friends. You'll learn about new people. You'll find your vibe tribe finally. That's the third and final stage of this, when you become true and authentic to yourself. And I've had 29 people add me in the last 48 hours on my Instagram, maybe even past 24 hours. And so in spite of people attacking me and me just going, whatever, unfollow, I'm going to block you, unfollow you, turn you in, because that was offensive not only to me, but probably more sensitive people than me. So you end up being more responsible for other people, and you start to see it from other perspectives, and that's part of becoming real and true and authentic and genuine. But the final stage of that is, yes, you will attract your vibe tribe. You will attract your people, your soul family. And you're going to feel amazing when that happens. And I know I'm starting to attract my tribe, and I love you guys. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for all of it. I'm really meeting the coolest people from around the world. Like, I met a woman in Romania, and she is a witch, and she sent me a bunch of pictures of her garden and her house and how magical her land is. And all she wants to do is create good magic in the world. And she's an incredible person. And then today I had a conversation with somebody in Brazil who has this business where she's doing radionics, and she calls it psionics because it's using the power of your mind to heal others. And it's just this really trippy board where you focus on it when you're focusing on somebody, and you're focusing and sending them energy. And she's going to do a seminar on Thursday. I'll let you guys know when I know more about it. But and she said it's like super popular in Brazil, and it's only in Portugal and in Brazil because it's in Portuguese, made by a woman who speaks Portuguese only. And she speaks English, but she doesn't speak Spanish, right? So she was like, so she could tell me about it. And we are starting to become friends. And I just really dig this woman. She is so cool. And she's a very spiritual, very aware, you know. And I had another conversation with another woman that started off a little weird, but I inspired her to make a video explaining how she upgraded her DNA in a way that she no longer gets sick. So I'm like, okay, when you make your video, here's the things I want to know about it. So I wrote a bunch of things, and so she hopefully will do a video on these things and consider my points so that I could bring it back to you guys too. You know, she's like, you really inspired me because you made me think of things that I haven't really put out there. And so I pointed out that she looks like a kook because she's like going around protesting the quarantine. And I'm like, dude, if you get sick or get other people sick, oh my God, you have a child. I'm like, look, I'm not against you. I see the point. I want to get the hell out of my house. But at the same time, please be safe. My God, I'm so worried about you. I love your posts. I think you're amazing. But if you're going to go out protest this thing, I'm really worried. Like, you could get hurt. You can hurt others. Like, don't be a virus denier. It's obviously real. There's bodies in the streets here where I live. Like, come on. Not in this city, thank you God, but on the coast. I know people who live there and they've seen them. They know it's true. You know, and then she's like, oh, when I got a DNA, I'm like, I've got a lot of DNA activations and a lot of things are happening. And yet sometimes I get sick and I want to know why. How do I change this? We all have a piece of the puzzle. And you meet your vibe tribe when you're true and authentic. And I was with her, and it could have escalated and I might have deleted and blocked her, you know, or whatever, but it didn't. And we ended up opening up to each other in a way that now we both have components that the other person needs. We have different pieces of the puzzle. And now we realize we are soul family. Hey, check it out. Right? And people are in different stages of awakening, and some people are just off their damn rocker for real, and some people are way beyond me, and I'm like, those are the people I look up to, like Lisa Transcendence Brown. You know, and some people just seem like they're inauthentic or they're being manipulative because they're narcissists, like they're spiritual narcissists. I haven't come across a whole lot, but there's one or two people that I'm kind of like, all right. Like, there's one famous person I'm kind of like, I don't know. She might not be really what she's appearing to be. But I don't know. So I just want you guys to be aware of this whole thing. Like, when you become authentic, those are the things that are going to happen. False friends will drop away. People that are refusing stubbornly to not wake up are going to just say you're weird now. What happened to you? They'll insult you and they'll walk away from your life. Let them go. Bye. Bye. See you later. It was nice knowing you. See you in the funny papers. Oh, well. And then they'll wake up in a couple years and come back to you crawling on their hands and knees, tail between their legs. And they're going to be like, what was a chakra again? What was it, aura? What was that thing you're talking about? That ascension path thing? What? And you could go, okay, freaking finally. Okay, let me tell you. But those are the three things I've noticed that happen when you're authentic and true, you know. People will drop away, then you'll attract the moths. Then you will finally find your people. And I mean, you know, it might just keep happening. You know, I've had people come into my life recently who left again right away. It's like a revolving doorway. Bye. They're like, you believe in what? All right, well, I gotta go now. It's like, all right, well, you'll be back. Or you won't. It's none of my business. Anyway, I want to get you guys to spaceweather.com. Solar wind conditions, 388.6 kilometers per second. There is a big asteroid flyby, and they captured it on, it's not quite video. What is this? It's like a radar image. That's what it is. And it's a mile across. It's a huge asteroid. It's kind of cute. I like watching it. This is from NASA, their radar. It's pretty interesting, but it's not going to come near the Earth, so don't worry. There's no danger of a collision or anything like that. It's a flyby is near enough for amateur astronomers to see the space rock through their backyard telescopes, though. So that's going to be kind of exciting. It'll be close to the Earth on the 29th, around 5:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time. And it's going to be like a 10th or 11th magnitude star. It's going to be kind of bright. And it's going to go through the constellation of Hydra. I have no idea where the hell that is in the sky, but if you know what you're doing, you might be able to figure it out. There's always a cheat. Go to YouTube. Someone else has put it up, probably. We are on sunspot number 12. And there's 2 sunspots from the past and the current solar cycles, and they pose absolutely no threat for strong solar flares, so don't panic over that. It's good to know. The All-Sky Fireball Network has captured 21 fireballs over the United States. That is, again, NASA's all-sky cameras. There's a downfall, and that's not the right word. The neutron counts have gone down, that's what I'm trying to say. 0.1% less than yesterday, but they still remain at very high at 10.8% of the space age average. So we still have a lot of neutrons coming at us, a lot of cosmic radiation. We do also have some solar wind that has started to flow out from a minor coronal hole, and it's going to reach Earth during the early hours of the 30th of April. So basically, the day after tomorrow, we're going to be getting, like Thursday, in the morning, we'll be getting some good old solar winds, along with the normal cosmic radiation coming our way, and all of it is changing our DNA. It's just so crazy. But hey, it's the world we live in. The disclosurenews.it website reports that the biggest number of the Schumann Resonance today was 18. I'm still having problems with the heartmath.org website. I don't know why they refused to go past March 4th. So I have no idea what's going on for April. Maybe something big and they didn't want us to see. I don't know. I don't think they're that crazy, though. I think they would tell us the truth. I mean, my God, on February 7th, the Schumann Resonance was 737.5 hertz frequency. So there's nothing that's going on today that's maybe going to be bigger than that, I don't think. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it's all working out. In the next day or two, I'm hoping they get it straightened out. I'm going to write to them tomorrow. I was going to give them one more day to fix it, and they didn't. So that's it. Now they're going to get a letter from Elena. I hate pointing out things to people. It's so, I'm never received well. It's that heyoka thing, you know. It's like I have this secret invisible stick, and I'm poking people in the sides repeatedly until they get the message. And then they get angry instead of like accepting that. Usually people get embarrassed when you point something out that's super obvious like that. If they do see it, they'll get really embarrassed and they'll defend themselves to the death out of their own embarrassment. They never want to admit that they were wrong. And then they might, a day or two or week or 3 years later, they'll come back and go, that one thing you said was kind of right. That's the heyoka crazy wisdom coming out in me. All right, we are on, I don't think we're on this one. Hold on a minute. All right, we are on lesson 284 in A Course in Miracles. And you can find the Foundation for Inner Peace website at acim.org. And I really, honestly, I couldn't remember what I read yesterday. I've been stuck in the present moment, and it's a good place to be because you don't really think about other things, the past or the future so much, but you feel like okay. Because honestly, you don't even feel anxiety or any kind of emotional pain whatsoever if you stay out of the past and you're not fearing the future and you're just right here now. It's a really nice place to be. I'm kind of living here for a while. But my son's getting really concerned because I'm not remembering the past unless I focus on it and then remember it, which is weird. It's a very weird place to be. I don't know. He's like, I want you to exercise more, Mom. Exercise that brain, something. I'm like, I'm totally here. I'm fine. You don't get it. I'm good, but I'm just a different spiritual place, and maybe it all will come together in a new way soon. But when I get a little bit foggy, he gets so upset and worried. I'm like, I'm fine. All right, lesson 284 in A Course in Miracles, that's where we're at. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Ooh, it's so good for today. For what I was just saying, right? I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Oh, I love this one. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all, and suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth, at first to be but said and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true and with many reservations. Then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as a truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and I would go beyond these words today and past all reservations and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. Father, what you have given cannot hurt, so grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. That is lesson 284 at acim.org. Now I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about Faraday cages. What are they? Do you want one? How would you make one? What shape should it be in? We're going to talk about a bunch of this stuff. What would it do for you? We're going to do some exploring right after this message. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. All right, guys, the very first time that I heard the phrase Faraday cage and actually paid attention to what it is and why you'd even care to have one was when I was watching the movie Transcendence. One of my favorite movies. It did not do very good in the box office, and I don't know why, because it was cerebral. I love stuff like this. Anyway, Johnny Depp played the main character. He was a professor at a university. And anyway, they had a something just hit my window, and I'm on the 3rd floor, so this makes no sense. That kind of freaked me out. Is there someone in here? No. Dude, I really feel like there's a presence of something on the... Is there someone on the outside of my window? God. Oh, Archangel Michael, come and be with me. Protect me from whatever the hell that was. Ooh, that just gave me the chills. I'm kind of... did you guys hear it? I bet if you rewind this and listen... Ooh, give me a... Usually I don't get freaked out, but once in a while. Anyway, Johnny Depp was in this movie, and he and his character and the couple, he and his wife, they were sitting underneath this copper shielded area, and it was beautiful. It was like plants growing up the sides, and they mentioned it being a Faraday cage, so they could actually have time together and not be bombarded with anything to do with their cell phone, basically. And they were talking about how it blocked out the radiation of the cell phones. And, so the cell phone won't work inside a Faraday cage. And I thought, that's really weird. And I think I want one. And then I kind of forgot it, for a while. And I think over the years I've heard it here and there, but it didn't really grab my attention so much until recently. I watched a really good show called Raising Dion, Dion, Raising Dion. It is on Netflix, and there's the storyline that the father was a storm chaser, or at least he studied storms, and he built a Faraday cage. And he thought if he got inside it, he could be surrounded by lightning hitting the Faraday cage, and he would be safe inside. He could get really, really accurate readings and figure out all the components. He's a scientist, so he wants to know more about the actual, electricity or the lightning itself. But he'd be safe inside, and they keep bringing up Faraday cage, in a couple different episodes. So I started thinking about it again. And not that long ago, a few months back, I started getting this really burning desire to build a copper Faraday cage of sorts in my house. I've been wanting to build a copper pyramid over my bed, and I've been wanting to make just copper Faraday cages for my fruit. If you make a pyramid power, that was a big thing in the 70s, and it still works. It always has. Why are there so many pyramids in the world if pyramid power isn't a thing? And as I'm talking about this stuff, I just saw someone walk through my bedroom. Is there someone there? Are you there now? Where are you from? Are you an Arcturian? Is there someone here? Okay, I'm getting like a weird... Okay, Archangel Michael? No. Are you a spirit? Do you need help? No. Are you an ET from my world? You're not from my world. You're from Orion? Dude, really? You're hijacking my show right now. Okay, so there's a being in my... Is there more than one of you? Just you. Okay, I just silently asked God if this being is of the light. Got a yes. So you're from Orion. And you're a good Orion. He says this is one of his favorite topics, is the Faraday cage. Alright, do you want to telepathically channel through me to tell people more about why we need them? And is this someone here? Is that you? Oh my God, you guys, I'm attracting ETs like crazy. You're another ET, but you're a different race, and you're not from Orion, no. What the fuck? This is so weird when this happens. Okay. I told you guys that. No, it's like the energy in here shifted, and the back of my neck is like prickly, and I'm feeling electricity. They're like, yeah, we're doing that. But what are you doing? What is it? It's... Did you say reverse Faraday cage? No, okay. You're saying it's like a Faraday cage, but it's a Faraday energy. So you're shielding me right now. You're showing me what it is. Okay, so there's this... a really tall Orion being. When I'm sensing he's kind of white in color, like ice white, like a piece of paper white, and then you're kind of like a blue gray. All right, cool. You guys can hear like a dripping. There's like condensation on my window, and it's dripping on the masking tape. I mean the duct tape we have. But okay, so you're showing me something now. He's okay. So the short blue-gray alien. I keep seeing the outline of him. This is freaking me out, guys. My vibration is so high suddenly, and my tympanic membrane keeps vibrating in my right ear. And it has been all day, so now it's just more right now. All right. So okay, tell me this thing. He says your own electrical system will work better when there's a Faraday cage around you, because you're constantly being bombarded on every side from radiation, from Wi-Fi, from all sorts of things. Cosmic radiation, you can pretty much do nothing about that, like the neutrons, but the Wi-Fi's and the electrical stuff, yeah, which I have on these websites. But he said what you felt right now, because he put a Faraday cage like energy around my back, and I felt this electrical impulse, and I feel it now. It feels really intensely, I don't even know how to explain it, tingly. He says, I think your nervous system is different than mine. Where are you from? You're not an Arcturian though. Like I'm not quite getting it. It sounds like Arcturus, but you're not an Arcturian. Arcturus. Are you from where we consider the Arcturian galaxy or whatever to be Arcturus? He says no. He says it's close. It's Arcturus. R-E-U-S. Arcturus. He says, yeah, that's it. Arcturus. Right? Okay. But you're not... Is it the same part of the sky? He says, no, you don't really know my star. No, he's saying I'm not from the star. I'm obviously from the planet near the star. Okay. All right. Awesome. He says, we've traveled for a very long time, and we've gotten here to help humanity with your ascension plans. And the Orion is saying, yeah, us too. We're here too. And they're saying, in fact, a lot of ET groups have arrived, and they're here with us now. And all right, cool. I like this. All right, so what happens is, he says he put like a Faraday shield around me right now, and the tingly energy, he says it was your own energy realigning, and you're saying my aura, okay. He says your aura has a chance to bounce back, and it does so rather quickly, and all your chakras don't have as much pressure on them from a subtle energy standpoint either when you have a Faraday cage around you. And what happens is, and he says, mind you, I didn't put it completely around you because of your electronic devices, right? I'm sitting here in front of my computer and holding my tablet. He only put it on my back for a second, and he wanted me to feel it. Oh, that was so weird. And it was very tingly, and everything seemed like it just lined right back up. And he said, yes, and it will. If you have a Faraday cage, you're going to be able to realign yourself rather quickly. And it happens automatically, because right now you're constantly being bombarded by so many things that your electrical energy body is constantly being shorted out. And it gets shorted out by the same amount of pulsations or radio waves or frequency waves as is hitting your body or your aura. And you get shorted out. And when you get shorted out, it shorts you out. That's why sometimes you have a hard time thinking. It's why sometimes you have a hard time sleeping. Sometimes you have a hard time with your emotions and you get angry. He says, we don't have a whole lot of emotions where we come from. We operate from a place of love, but we don't have the wide variety and range of emotions that you do. We are capable of feeling love, but we suspect it's not as intense as what humans feel, because you have the opposite of love as well, and that will bring about a greater understanding of all emotions, and that will enhance the emotion of love. Whereas for us, we think it's just our basic operating nature. We come from that energy, so we don't really focus on our emotions because we don't have a lot. He says, my race is a race of beings that are scientific and logical, and we're always looking for solutions to help people all over the universe. That is super cool. I'm really happy to meet you. What is your name? Are you saying Keon? No. I'm sorry, not Leon. Kialil? Kiali? I'm sorry, I am not getting your name. He says, don't worry, don't bother. And I'm seeing this, I look up, and I'm seeing things floating through my room, shooting through my room, fairies. I'm not really seeing orbs, I don't think, but things are moving around really fast suddenly out of nowhere. Earlier today, I saw an angel, huge angel wings in my room. The upper outline of wings, and they're white. And then they disappeared really quick. So there's that. So the Orion, what do you want to say about the Faraday cages? We highly recommend it when you want to, are you saying meditate? Yeah, anything you want to do, meditate, pray, think, read a book. It will help you focus and enhance your mental capacity in a way that you didn't have before. Instead of taking a substance to focus your mind, if you sit in a Faraday cage, you'll find that it's easier, and your mind automatically knows how to focus. We suspect that the problems that you've had in your world, such as ADD or ADHD, are really not what you think, and that it's very possible that you're just very much affected in your subtle energy body, and when you're affected by that, you get the mental short outs, like my companion here was telling you. And we believe that if you do protect yourself with this kind of a technology, you're going to enhance your intelligence, your creativity, your mental state will be clear and much easier to focus on the task at hand, no matter what it is. What? Did you say sex? He says, we dare say it will also enhance sex. And the little scientific ET, he's saying, maybe we shouldn't go into that so much. He's uncomfortable with it because he's like a scientist. He's like, yeah, he's like, this is like personal, private. And Orion is just saying, well, we like to express ourselves in our culture, so for us, no activity is off limits to discuss, so we're comfortable with that. Cool. All right, that's nice. So, a lot of people are afraid of Orions because we hear there's bad ones there. He says, yes, there are, but at least my race of beings, for the most part, we're good. And we come from a different part of the galaxy than the ones you are referring to. We know about them in our past. We've been at war with them, but we're okay now, basically. All right. Now, is there someone here? Archangel Michael. Yeah, okay, Archangel Michael is standing between these beings. He's He's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm okay. I was just a little surprised that these beings randomly showed up in my room, and then I mean, you say the right words, sometimes the right buzzwords, and then boom, here they are. All right, so you guys want to talk to more about this? They said, no, we've had our say. We want to introduce ourselves. So are you guys friends? Oh, yeah, they're friends. Okay. And did you guys kind of come together? And they're like, yeah, we did. Is there anyone else in the room besides? No. So there's only 3 beings in the room with me now. Okay. Yeah, I would love to talk to you later. That's awesome. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. All right, guys. All right, see you later. Bye. They said, we can't wait for you guys to join the Galactic Federation. They're all so excited, you guys. All the ETs, they just want so badly to be a part of us. And us a part of them, basically. I mean, they're all like, just, come on, council's waiting, let's go. And Archangel Michael is telling me I'm going to stay with you for the rest of the night. All right. This has been a very psychoactive, or I don't know if that's the right word, but Hunter S. Thompson came, his spirit came, and God rest his soul. You know, he passed a number of years ago, but his spirit was with me. And we were having, oh my God, he's hilarious. I'm not going to talk about what we talked about, but it's more like personal stuff. But we were having conversations, and for like an hour, he was here. We were just having to talk, and he was watching me cook and laughing and joking with me. We talked about drugs. We talked about a lot of stuff. And then he told me he'd come back maybe to visit me tomorrow. And so he left, and then now these ETs came, and Archangel Michael's been with me today. Oh, and by the way, I saw, this is really weird, I saw the outline of a secondary angel with Hunter S. Thompson, and he said it's his holy guardian angel follows him everywhere. So if you were ever worried about it or thinking about, you know, would you have a holy guardian angel after you're disincarnate? Yeah, you will. Your HGA never leaves your side. Your holy guardian angel, 100% with you at all times. All right. Well, that was strange and unexpected, but welcome to my world. That song, welcome to my world. Oh my God, my life. See, I can't talk about this stuff like to anyone. This is why I'm telling you guys this on my podcast, because if you see the description of my show, you're already going to know I'm strange, right? It's a weird show. It's metaphysical. It's not, you know, normal anything on the show. And as much as I try, this kind of stuff, this is like my life. This is how my life has been my entire life. And it still freaks me out when they come by, but alright, anyway. So Faraday cages, guys, how Faraday cages work according to howstuffworks.com. So electricity is the lifeblood. By the way, this is by Nathan Chandler. Never thought I'd ever see that name outside of Friends. Nathan Chandler. Okay. Electricity is the lifeblood of many aspects of our world. Without volts and amps, many of the technological innovations would cease to exist. Even our bodies wouldn't function without an electrical charge zipping through our cells. But what electricity gives, electricity can take away. Although this form of energy is vital to so much of our lives, it's one of those things that are only good in the right amounts. Too much electricity can electrocute people. Likewise, it can kill modern electronics and machines. Right, exactly. And by the way, it says here, Faraday cages come in all shapes and sizes, but all of them use a metal screen that will conduct electricity, which creates the shielding effect. Okay, this is what I saw in that movie, Transcendence. It was like a shielding, but it was like copper. It was so beautiful. I was like, oh, I love copper. Because then it gets that nice shiny, it's nice and shiny coppery color, and then it gets a patina, and it's like, oh my God, the green and the blue. I mean, perfect thing to have in your garden. Okay, so now my left ear is really, really bad at the tinnitus, very strong. and the pitch just changed and shifted. It shifted my whole energy. Too many weird things all at once. All right, but they say, but thanks to Michael Faraday, who was the brilliant 19th century scientist, and one of his namesake inventions, the Faraday cage, humans have developed plenty of ways to control electricity and to make it safer for our computers, cars, and other inventions, as well as for us too. Faraday cages shield their contents from static electrical fields. An electric field is a force field surrounding a charged particle, such as a proton or electron. These cages often look distinctly, cage-like. Some are as simple as chain link fences or ice pails. Others use fine metallic mesh. Regardless of the exact appearance, all Faraday cages take electrostatic charges, or even certain types of electromagnetic radiation, and distribute them around the exterior of the cage. Electromagnetic radiation is all around us. It is invisible and ultraviolet light. In the microwaves that cook our food, even in the FM and AM radio waves that pump music through the radios. But sometimes this radiation is undesirable and downright disruptive. That is where Faraday cages come in. As a Faraday cage distributes that charge or radiation around the cage's exterior, it cancels out electrical charges or radiation within the cage's interior. In short, a Faraday cage is a hollow conductor in which the charge remains on the external surface of the cage. So it never gets inside, and as long as you're inside, you're going to be safe from that electrical current. So it says that basic function has plenty of fascinating uses in our electrically cluttered and technological packed world. And although Faraday would eventually have his day, the backdrop for his invention has its root in earlier times. So if you want to see that, it's the next page after this one. And this page is howstuffworks.com/Faraday-cage.htm. So we're not going to go to the next page, but you can if you want. You could go look at it yourself. So I did some research, and a lot of these websites say, it doesn't matter the shape of the Faraday cage. It could be circular, oval-shaped, square, rectangle, or even pyramidal. So I was thinking, how weird would that be and cool? What if I someday had land and I made a spiritual retreat center and I made the platonic solids out of copper and put them outside with like a little bench in the center of them. And you could go and sit and read a book or meditate, and you wouldn't have that subtle energy around you. It wouldn't be bothering you. In fact, any energy you had around you would be natural. It wouldn't be man-made or artificial electricity fields. I thought that would be such a cool thing. You could do this though in your own backyard if you live in a house, or there's a lot of things you can do. Now, logoscenter.org had a very interesting website. So logoscenter.org/threshold.html. Now, this is a very spiritual website, but like me, they're quite metaphysical. They talk about where science meets spirituality, basically. So, there's a whole presentation on this page. If you want. I love it. At the top it says, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. Those are pretty much the only two rules that Jesus enforced outside the 10 Commandments. So my brother said that to me one day. He's like, these are the only things I could find that Jesus said to do. 10 Commandments, and love God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. Anyway, it says the Logo Center, and there's a picture of Edgar Casey. And then it says he has a whole world in his hands. And then it says Anne and Herb per year. Now, I don't know anything about this. I just stumbled across this really bitchin' website today. So there's this copper pyramid. It's just a square bottom, and the four it meets in the middle from the square bottom, and it fits completely in this inside of this person's house. And a man is sitting underneath, and the apex of this pyramid is a pink crystal ball. It's like a round ball where they all meet at the top, and he's seen directly beneath that. And on either side of him, he's got these massive amethyst geodes and candles all around, and he's just meditating. He looks very peaceful. I don't know if he is or if he's faking it for the picture, but it looks amazing. Anyway, so this PowerPoint presentation, if you want to go look at the whole thing, it was given by Anne and Herb at the Academy for Spiritual and Consciousness Studies, or ASCS, and that was the 38th annual conference. You know what? I've been invited to this years ago. I forgot about this one. And new developments in afterlife communication was the theme for this presentation. So it sounds very interesting. They built a Logos threshold room, and they photographed energies floating around the room, such as spirits and also orbs and the like. It isn't funny, the minute I start talking about this, I had all kinds of things floating through and flying through rapidly, and all of a sudden these beings showed up. It's like, this apparently is an extremely high vibrational topic. Just look what happened. I wish I could show you guys through my eyes the crap I see sometimes. It's crazy, like so many just streaks of white light in my room. All right, there's a little note here about this presentation. It says, Susan Wadsworth's videos of orbs in motion that was shown in the Afterlife Communication Conference were quite revealing. It's important to note that Susan is not only in a Faraday cage, but she was mentally attuned and had clear intentions before she started her recording. Oh, weird, clear intentions. What the little scientist here just was saying. Now, Susan had previously attended the excursion workshop developed by the Monroe Institute, yet another cool thing. She employed the techniques learned at the workshop to put her mind and body into a receptive state. The combination of the cage and Susan's mind state worked together to enhance her experience and visually to record the energies present. So they offer this excursion workshop several times a year if you want to check it out. It sounds interesting. It's how to expand your own consciousness and your awareness. But it's in Phoenix and Scottsdale. I don't know, I don't like that energy there. But anyway, moving right along. Okay, so Threshold Project details, what is a Faraday cage, they say. Their answer is, a Faraday cage is a conductive structure that acts as a shield against electromagnetic interference. Electromagnetic waves naturally flow around a surface of conductive materials, not through them. It's very interesting. So what is electromagnetic interference? So their answer is, without getting too techie, electromagnetic interference is generated when a nuclear event, like a solar flare, unleashes gamma rays above the atmosphere. Gamma rays are extremely high energy photons, and when they strike atoms in the atmosphere, they knock large quantities of electrons free, which produces a pulse of electromagnetic radiation. At the speed of light, this electromagnetic pulse travels through the air and is also picked up in all telephone and power lines. In other words, it's not only in the air, but it also affects all electronic equipment connected to power lines. So any electronic devices plugged into an electrical outlet, for example. Things to consider. The critical point in making a Faraday cage is to make sure that all 6 sides, the 4 walls, the ceiling, and the floor of the cage are connected. For example, electrically sound via soldered connections or soldered connections, and the entire cage is grounded. The best way to ground the cage is to drive a copper grounding rod 4 feet into the earth and connect the cage to it with copper wire. Ideally, there should be no electrical wiring in the walls of the room, assuming the room itself is your Faraday cage. Also, there should be no electrical devices inside the cage, as these will simply reintroduce electromagnetic fields into the cage. Oh, so okay, that makes sense. Hopefully, guys, that makes sense for you too. So, they were talking about there's a copper pyramid in Anne's office above the chair where she meditates. It has a pink crystal quartz ball at the apex. And okay, what it says is when you have a pyramid suspended over the area where you're working. Now again, this is like a 4-sided pyramid with a square bottom, as opposed to a triangular 3-sided pyramid. So it's not very big either. It looks like it's only 1 foot to 1.5 foot, from top to bottom, hanging from her ceiling above where she meditates. And I think you can't connect it to the ceiling with metal. It has to be like with a plastic or something. Maybe like a zip tie would work. Something about the way that it grounds or doesn't ground. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. What else does it say? When you have a pyramid suspended over an area where you work or meditate, it can be energizing and also calming, which may sound the opposite of each other, but it is influenced by your intent. So this is kind of a magical object. Easily you can make such a pyramid with copper from Home Depot or other such stores fairly inexpensively. Anne has used this particular pyramid for years in various places and at different heights. So this looks like it's, I don't know. I'm trying to see what the height would be, maybe. It looks like it's the bottom of the pyramid's like about 8 feet above the ground is what it's appearing. It doesn't really say. So, and the pyramid itself looks like it's probably 1.5 feet tall. If that makes any sense. All right. So, Home Depot, blah, 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 looking for my place because I lost it. All right. So she's used this in various places and at different lengths. I think different lengths of time she means. It's not ideal to sleep under if suspended over your bed, or at least we found it to be true because we do not sleep well under pyramid power. That would be good before you invest in a company that will send you one for $1,200, right? Can you imagine putting that over your bed and you have nowhere else to put it and you can't sleep now? That'd be crazy, right? Anyway, they say you can create a sacred space to meditate in a threshold room or in a room in your home or your office. The altar is next to Anne's chair where she meditates under the pyramid. And that's what they're showing for their room. Every object to your personal altar can be selected to have special meaning for you. Stones, gems, rocks, statues, or even sayings. Meditating, standing in front of your altar, doing exercises such as super brain from pranic healing, I have no idea what they're talking about, or the Edgar Cayce breathing and head and neck exercises can often be enhanced by the energies that emanate from the objects or as you look at them and recall their meaning to you. All right. So if you wanted to buy it, you could buy it from them. This is really awesome. It's just nothing but just copper pipe, and it's in the shape of a pyramid all around there. They have one in their room, and in their living room, I'm looking at the one in their living room, they have like a little carpet, a little love seat on top of that. And then the pyramid takes up not a lot of space, but it looks like maybe half the room. But not really. It's just thin metal. And it's not like meshed all around it either. I thought that it would have to be like that. And apparently, just because the shape, I guess, it's a real Faraday cage, but it's only 4-sided, 4 pieces of copper. That's it. Looks like about 1 inch copper. When I look at it, it's possible it's a 1/2 inch copper, but I think it's 1 inch. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Alright. So, I'm looking at this. Inside the pyramid, they put at the corner an amethyst geode, or a point. They say it's not possible to set up an amethyst grid because the grid would currently be broken and have to be reset since the pyramid is not in a designated room. I don't know what that means, but I'm looking at this just like I don't get it. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I feel like I just fell asleep there. It was overwhelming to have these ETs in my room, and now I'm feeling all this kind of energy coming our way. Are there any beings in my room right now? Archangel Michael, yes. Anyone else? No. God, am I getting bombarded by cosmic radiation right now? Yeah, I feel like I'm going to have to take a cosmic nap again. This whole evening has been like this. Now the water droplets again. Ugh, it's so creepy. So, they say that the Pruyers who have this website, they meditate under their pyramid daily and without the copper-lined walls of the Faraday cage that the threshold room had. It greatly enhances their meditations and opens a portal through which information is downloaded as help and guidance. The energy of the copper pyramid and amethysts has an energizing and calming effect when sitting inside the pyramid for short periods of time. So it looks like they don't recommend sleeping under it right away, at least. I think it'd be okay if you just kind of gradually got used to it. I mean, I'm serious. I saw copper pyramids made in the 70s, and people were selling them as means to keep your fruit fresh for a lot longer. And they had scientific evidence to back it up. It's very interesting. So I didn't realize that a 4-sided pyramid could be a Faraday cage. And it's just the copper wire. There isn't really a side to it. Very, very weird, right? Alright, they have pictures of orbs on this page. They have a bunch of stuff. Alright, so they have a bunch of stuff on this website talking about all the different ways you could build Faraday cages. I'm just looking. They have a bunch of articles, looks like. Alright, so we're just gonna, if you want to look it up, you know, you have to know how to make it if you can make your own. In Logo Center, I think they might sell theirs, I'm not sure. If you wanted to buy one. Alright, I'm just looking at these articles. I don't even know. Yeah. It's a huge list of articles where they got their information. Now, there's another website that sells one of these pyramids for almost $1,200 plus shipping. So, it's just really crazy. I wanted to read what it says because it's a very interesting description. This is a portable sleeping pyramid system designed to go over your bed to help your etheric body be protected while sleeping. When we sleep, our bodies actually recharge like a battery off of the Earth's magnetism. The larger pyramid acts as a Faraday cage and aids the body in recharging the aura. The device is also very functional as the ultimate feng shui enhancer. It can even be used as a functional art piece. It can be set up in a well-trafficked area in your home to add a sense of calm. It can be used in meditation room while inspiring a healing vibration. This device is easy to assemble and beautifully made. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, the rest is just an advertisement. Sorry about that. So if you want to check that out, thepromiserevealed.com. And they have other things that were very interesting too. And they even start talking about what the Palladians told them about this technology. So it's kind of weird when we start to think about these technologies that are kind of outlandish sounding, but they're absolutely real. The ET show up. They're very excited about us getting into a new kind of industrial revolution. I just feel that. So, all right. So, yeah, if you want to read this, they have two other things for sale. They looked very interesting. They had the Vitamid, which is like a small pyramid that you put over your fruit. And they have a Tesla power supply. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds cool. They also have a Star Shield orb and a Deva Star Shield. And I didn't look into what that was because it's not what we're doing tonight, but very strange stuff. All right. Now we go to photonoregon.co.uk, and they have a bunch of stuff for sale. They say 5G RF, which radio frequencies, EMFs, Wi-Fi, radiation protection, shielding, Faraday cage, clothing, hats, vests, covers, and materials. So if you want to have a Faraday cage, but you live in an apartment, you don't feel like building a massive pyramid over your bed, you can just wear some of the clothing. A lot of this clothing is silver lined. So they've got hats and tank tops, pants. I think those are pants. No, they're not. I'm sorry. I thought I saw pants on here somewhere. Maybe they do. But anyway, mobile cell charger. Case, not charger, just the case. And I realized I have a Faraday cage for my passport so that anytime I'm in the airport, no one can secretly scan my information. It came with my backpack. I thought that was pretty neat. But they have blankets. There's weighted blankets made from copper. The stuff on this website, they're made from silver. That's photonoregon.co.uk. But, they have everything. Hats, even beanie hats for babies. They have all kinds of stuff. Why not protect your whole family, right? I think it showed baby clothing even. So, okay, there's a radiation grounding cotton sheet. It'll help you feel like you've grounded, even if you're stuck inside. You just put your feet on it a certain way, and it takes your negativity out, as if you went outside and touched your feet to the grass. So that was kind of cool. Okay. Looking at some of this other stuff. There's Faraday cage fabrics, so you can make what you want out of it, or just use it as curtains or sheets. But I think one of the best goals we can have is to protect ourselves from this constant bombardment of radiation coming at us from all different angles and sides. I feel like if we could possibly eliminate it, at least while we sleep, maybe while we read books, I think we'll feel a lot happier and healthier. Now, I saw on Survivorpedia, one of the comments on this article I found, he was giving advice, and he said, if you ever do build a Faraday cage, don't bring your cell phone inside it while it's turned on, because you're going to waste up your whole battery searching for a signal that you'll never be able to reach, because, it's blocking the EMFs, basically. So I thought that was good advice. So you can use copper, silver, anything. You can put even tinfoil hats will work for a time, but radiation can still get underneath the hat, obviously. So, I would opt for a more bigger solution. When I can, I will. But Faraday cages are very strange, very interesting things. I hope you've learned something tonight. It's not at all how I expected it to go, because channeling out of nowhere at the last minute, even when you ask God and God says, no, it's just you tonight. I mean, sometimes it surprises me. It catches me off guard. So, I don't know. I love it when the ETs show up, though. We're on our way, technologically speaking, but if you can do it, if you could afford, even if it's just a hat or a scarf or something to protect yourself, especially when you're going to go flying, certain flights, they've got the hotspot map on spaceweather.com. They show you exactly how much radiation you'll be bombarded with on certain flights in any given week, and it's updated all the time. I mean, can you imagine going on a trip and not feeling jet lagged because you're not being bombarded by that constant radiation and frequency from different angles? It'd be great, right? So there it is. You pretty much got the gist. It could be in any shape, according to I can't remember the name. I don't have it queued up now, but they say it doesn't matter. Pyramids, circular, square, rectangle, and you can make a little tiny one for your electronic devices in case there's an EMP, electromagnetic pulse weapon. If that happens, there's speculation the Chinese have one and they're going to use it against us. I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard this. And I've heard that EMP can knock out every electronic, period, all of them gone. No TV anymore, no cell phone, and it kills them. Like it won't. It's not like a matter of changing the battery. It's just dead from now on. So if you keep your phone and your, whatever, laptop, even normal computer, you could put a fabric over it. In the website I just mentioned, they have silver fabric. That would go to great lengths to protect you. It would be good. To protect your phone, put it in a little pouch or underneath that silver material. Or you can make your own. You could just get, your cell phone, if you have like a holder for it, or even a little, billfold. Billfold, I haven't heard that word in years. My stepmom used to always call her wallet a billfold. I guess technically it does fold your bills. But you just get something small that fits over your, cell phone. And you can just wrap a bunch of copper wires. Even tin foil in a pinch would help. And put your device every night in it, knowing A, you're not getting radiated from your device, and B, I don't know, what is B? Oh, you're protecting your electronic device against any EMPs that may or may not happen. I don't honestly believe it's going to happen ever, but you never know, so it's good to have the knowledge, right? Anyway, that's it. I'm needing to go to sleep, guys. I had kind of a long day. I only had 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I was wide awake all day, and now it's really catching up to me. So, yeah, I had to cook that soup, and it took forever. But it turned out really good, so I'm really grateful to God for providing one more meal for me. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for having confidence in me and listening to my podcast every day. I'm grateful for your presence and for your listenership and everything else. I'm starting to hallucinate, so it's really time for me to sleep. That always happens to me when I need to sleep. It's like the hallucinations start to come, and it's like, you know what? Acid flashbacks when they start in, it's time to sleep. All right, that's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow with all unique and original programming, just like always. But for now, I'm signing off. with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.